Hi, so today I want to show you how I made this accordion trifold card, and this is a rectangular version. I've also got a square version which I will show you at the end of the video, but it's quite a nice card. It's not that difficult to make, and it's just quite fun. And obviously you can change up how you do the decorations on the front. I've obviously used squares for this, but I know I did do one a couple of years back. I changed the dimensions, but I had like biscuits. It was the Do Craft Sweet Treats range, which is very, very fun, very pretty, and well, not pretty, but it's just cool, just sort of funny. And so I did biscuits sort of on each of the layers, which was quite nice. So yeah, so hopefully you'll like it, and let's get into it. Right, so to make this card, you're going to need a base card that is 11.5 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Now I've gone ahead and scored mine just because I was unsure of the score lines that I had got online, and it turned out they were wrong, so I was glad I checked them. So you want to score at 1.5 inches, at 3 inches, at 5.5 inches, and at 8 inches. Okay, so once you've done those score lines, you're then going to fold it and concertina it. So the first one is your 1.5 inch line, and that's going to be a mountain fold. Then the next one's a valley fold. Then the next one's a mountain fold, and then the 8 inch one is a valley fold. Just be careful when you're folding them that you are getting them straight, because when I did this, it's not, I mean, to you it probably looks fine, but I know that it's slightly off, just slightly. So just make sure you score them and get them all in, you know, straight. Right, so then what you're going to need is you're going to need some mat and pattern layers for these 3 sections. So you're going to need a mat. Well, I'm going to go through all of them. So the front one, you need a mat that is 1 1/4 by 5 1/2, and the pattern to go on top is 1 inch by 5 1/4. The next one down, you need a mat that is 2 1/4 by 5 1/2, and the pattern is 2 inches by 5 1/4. Then the next one down is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, and the pattern is 3 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so they should all layer up. Not quite sure what I've done wrong here, but anyway, that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those together. Once you've stuck them together, you can just go ahead and stick them onto your panel. So I'm going to do all of that now. Okay, so when you've stuck all your panels down, you'll end up with that. So the other thing you can do as well, which I'm going to do now before I start putting my squares on the front, is I'm going to stick a panel on the back so that you can write on it. I did make one, which I'll show you at the end, which is a square one, and I actually did a funky way of doing a little fold inside. But for this one, I'm just going to stick a panel on the back. Okay, so now we've stuck the panel on the back, so we've got somewhere to write. So now what I want to do is do the squares that are on the front. So I've die cut squares out, 3 nesting fancy die cut squares, but then I hand cut my, with a guillotine. Please excuse my cat in the background. She's desperate for me to feed her, even though I've already fed her once, not that long ago. So anyway, bear with me. So these squares I've just cut them out by hand just to make them mat and layer. And obviously it's up to you what size you do. Or you could do circles or whatever. These measure approximately, from side to side, they measure approximately 1 3/4. So then the mat is 1 1/2. And then the big square here is approximately 2 1/4. And this is 1 3/4, and then This one here is 3 inches and the pattern is 2.5 approximately. So I'm now going to go ahead and stick my patterns, well, the matte layers, onto the, well, I suppose these are the matte layers, the glitter layers onto the plain card. Right, so I've stuck my layers down. So then you want to select some kind of topper that you're going to put on the front. So I'm going to go with these. So I'm going to have this one. So these are going to be diamond shaped. I'm going to have that one on there like that. I'm going to have this one on here. And I'm going to have this one on here. Okay, so that's going to be my layer. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm actually going to stick these, I'm going to stick the squares onto the card first and then put these on, just because otherwise it's difficult to stick down things that have got foam pads on them. So I'm going to start at the front. I'm just going to stick this on like that, so it's halfway on and it's more or less central. Okay. Okay, so there you have your card ready. If you wanted to, you could even do it as a stepper. If you backed up, if you put something at the back there, you could do it as like a stepper card. I mean, it's quite nice, a stepper card. But obviously you'd need another card on the back there, otherwise it doesn't stand up. But yeah, so that's the card like that. So then what we're going to do is, so this would actually go into a 5 3/4 by 5.5. So 5 3/4 square envelope this would fit into. I have done a square version, which I will show you in a minute, and I've actually stuck this square further in, like central onto there. But I just quite like the way that goes. So that's why I've done that like that. So now we're going to stick the little flowers on the front. Okay, so there we have it. So there's our finished card. And obviously you just need to add a greeting and then you're done. So as you can see, it's quite a nice, easy card to do. Right, I'm just going to take you through. So this one, obviously, the actual card itself is quite rectangular. It ends up being square because of the bit that's sticking out. But I want to show you the one that I did with that is actually square. It's got a square, you know, parameter all the way around, if that's the right word. And that is this one. So this is the square version. So as you can see, I've put it on the back. And you know I was saying about, with this one, I've put a blank piece of card on the back so you can write on it. With this one I didn't do that. What I did was I actually made a little mini card blank, and so then you can write under here. The only thing I didn't factor in was the fact that obviously the card blank is actually smaller than that topper, so it's a bit of a difficult to bend, but you've got enough that you can, you know, you could write in there. So that's a design thing to tweak for later. So this one, as I said, is square. And I can give you the measurements for this in case you want to have a go. So the measurements for this, the base card is 11 3/4 by 5 3/4. Then the matte panels, you have a matte panel that's 5.5 by 1 1/8, and the pattern to go on that is 5 1/4 by 7/8. And then the next panel down is 5.5 by 2.5. The pattern for that is 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. Then you've got the, oh, it's getting increasingly dark. Let me switch my light on, it's getting increasingly dark. Oh, my light's not on.